On the surface, the MG Metro 6R4 would bear only a rough silhouette of the small Metro city car it was based on. But underneath, it was a pure, purpose-built rally machine. In the early 1980s, Austin Rover wanted to showcase British engineering at the highest level of motorsport. They turned to Williams Grand Prix Engineering to design a new car from scratch. The result was the Metro 6R4. During testing, the 6R4 looked a little different, the prototype sporting a red and white test livery and a much more subdued aero package than we would later see on the rally car. After an extensive schedule of testing, the car finally broke cover on the 1984 York National Rally, where it showed good pace, leading by 3 minutes before retiring with alternator issues. Before the 6R4 had even turned a wheel in international competition, the car had become a star on and off the stages, starring in the TV drama The Winning Streak, even running as course car on the 1984 Welsh to gather action footage for the series. By 1985, though, the team had the car how they wanted it. And on the Autofit stages in May of that year, Tony Pond would debut the 6R4 in what was to become the familiar specification that would be homologated into Group B, ready for international competition. At its heart was the V64V engine, a 3-litre, normally aspirated V6 with permanent four-wheel drive, a short wheelbase and composite bodywork. The 6R4 was as radical as anything else in Group B. Unlike its turbocharged rivals, though, from Peugeot, Lancia or Ford, the Metro relied on immediate throttle response from its high-revving, normally aspirated V6 engine.
It's slightly longer, wider, it's got all the latest aerodynamic bits on it, and it's, of course, got the new engine with 4-valve per cylinder, 4 camshafts, 400 horsepower, all the fours. It's a ZF gearbox. Sorry, it's not a ZF, it's a Hewland gearbox. And it's just like an F1 car. You just pull the lever, don't use the clutch. The engineer sort of squirms every time you change gear with it, but it's okay.
With the Metro's World Rally Championship debut fast approaching, attention briefly turned into a clubman version of the car. Ken Wood giving us a look at what was to come in national rallying as he competed on the 1985 Trossachs Rally in the Golden Wonder sponsored car. In November 1985, though, the Metro made its highly anticipated international debut on the Lombard RAC Rally in the hands of fan favourite star driver Tony Pond. And with the support from the home crowd, he and co-driver Rob Arthur would bring the Works 6R4 home in 3rd place overall. It was a stunning result and remains the car's best finish on a World Championship rally. Despite the podium on its debut, the car would struggle on the world stage against the turbocharged Peugeot 205 T16 and Lancia Delta S4, the normally aspirated engine lacking ultimate power and development coming too late. Group B itself was cancelled at the end of 1986, bringing the Works Metro programme to an abrupt halt.
The potential of the 6R4, it's a very difficult one to ask. I think, sadly, we had the tragedy in the early part of 1986, which prevented Group B of being an ongoing situation in WRC. But unfortunately, even at that point in time, the other manufacturers had superseded us because we'd decided to go down the route with the Metro of being a very simple car, no turbo, no supercharger. Great response, great sounding car for the fans, but sadly, the horsepower leap that the other cars already had, even during the early part of 86, would have meant that we would never ever have been able to seriously challenge, the Lancias, the Audis, probably the RS200s even. So, great car. Great characteristics from the driver's perspective, but sadly we were already on the back foot in the horsepower game.
The Metro may not have had a chance to shine on the world stage, but it excelled in international competition outside of the World Championship. And in 1986, it was given its first international win on the Circuit of Ireland Rally with Welshman David Llewellyn behind the wheel.
It was testing, I think, in Myra or somewhere like that. That year, I had the choice to stay with Audi or go to Austin Rover in the Metro. I did test the S1 Quattro, frighteningly fast, and seemed to want every opportunity to get off the road with that big turbo and all the lag. So I jumped in the Metro, and I must say it just immediately fitted into it, and it felt right. And I based my decision to go with them for the following year, basically on having driven both cars. I'm proud to have been involved with Group B, to give the Metro its first international win. Of course, it was my first international win, and RED as well. It was a very special occasion.
Later in the 1986 season, Jimmy McRae would add his name to the list of international winners in the car when he took the Ulster Rally victory in a Rothmans-backed 6R4. These results confirmed that the car was competitive, especially on British and Irish roads.
It's a year I'm glad I didn't miss. At the start, it was very much a deal we put in at the very last minute, because RED at that time was supposed to be getting a Lancia to drive for the British Championship. It didn't turn up, but we managed to put the deal together, with Austin Rover to get the 6R4. And as I say, it was a year I'm glad I didn't miss. But we had a lot of unfortunate not mishaps, problems, that we were in to win the championship again. The third last stage of the Isle of Man, the Manx Rally, where we were lying second to Tony Pond, but Tony couldn't win it, and we were minutes in front of Russell, so it was uneasy. The last day on the Sunday, we had knocked the Revelin at our back and just basically drove it like an old woman. But then the couple of stages from the end, down to a 90 left, I can see it yet, changed down the 90 left, and it just cut out, the cam belt broke, So, although I really loved it, it was disappointing at the end, and also disappointing that these cars were banned at the end of that year, because I think I would have had the opportunity with Austin Rover and Rothmans that we might have got some of the World Championship events the following year. So it was a year I'm glad I didn't miss, but it was a disappointment at the end as well.
Of course, the story didn't end there. The 6R4 found a strong second life in national rallying. In Britain, David Gillanders won the 1987 National Rally Championship in his Metro against some formidable drivers and cars. UK national entry lists in 1987 would often see a top 10 dominated by Metro 6R4s, with 12 of them starting the opening round of the season in the hands of drivers such as Roger Clark, Ken Wood and Malcolm Wilson.
I think the great thing about the Metro was that for a clubman's car, after the banning of Group B, they obviously did a clubman's kit, which reduced the horsepower significantly to, I think it was under 300 horsepower. But I think why it was so successful is because it was quite a simple car to run. It didn't have complex turbo system or things like that. It was a very, very simple car that a clubman could run. And of course, MG, the Metro, they sold the cars off very cheap at the end of 1986. So it became a very well priced car for the clubman to buy, and obviously, as you say, the cars continued even to this day. And there's a lot of competition in national championships from 1987 onwards.
The Metro 6R4 then would enjoy a long and successful career at the top of national competition. And in the hands of drivers such as John Price, it would still be claiming national titles 20 years after its debut on the world stage. The RAC Rally podium in 1985, the international wins and 20 years of national championship titles showed the world that the 6R4 could be successful at every possible level. Though it never reached the heights of its rivals in the World Rally Championship, the Metro 6R4 remains one of the most distinctive and best-loved cars of the Group B period. A true British challenger in rallying's wildest era.